Good evening. This is the Reverend Phil Bjornberg coming to you Friday evening from Connecticut, the eve of our departure from here to head back to the Eastern Shore. I wanted to update you all on the good news. It's a very successful trip medically, and also there have been some developments that I wanted to apprise you of, which will impact our going forward with worship in light of the surging numbers for the COVID pandemic in Virginia and along the shoreline. That being said, I wanted to take the opportunity before I get back to try to express to the folks my understanding of the bishop's request and also the governor's guidelines and common sense to practice an abundance of caution in ensuring that we not only protect our folks from undue risk of communicating further the spread of the pandemic, but also to ensure that we are recognizing the need as human beings to gather in fellowship, to flourish and avoid isolation, and the failure to thrive that happens to human beings when we isolate. I would like to find a healthy balance that would allow us to continue to worship in a safe way. So, mindful of the bishop's mandate to not gather indoors, we will not gather indoors for worship this Sunday. Fortunately, the weather will be very conducive to be outdoors, as we have been for almost 40 weeks in Accomack at St. James. I will conduct a 9:30 service on the porch this Sunday. 9:30 in the morning, Holy Communion. Invite people to gather in the yard. We will maintain masks during the service, and we will also distance ourselves, maintain social distance. That being said, most importantly, the message I want to convey is that we're going to maintain safe distance while worshiping, masked outdoors at St. James at 9:30 this Sunday. And we will also, I had felt as though this summer when we were doing virtual services at the rectory, but because having had no Wi-Fi, we did not do services at St. George's in Pungatee, assuming folks would come up to Accomack to sit on the lawn if they wanted to participate in those services. That was not very popular, so I began to feel as though St. George's was not being, I felt as though they were being neglected somehow by not meeting where they're at. So we will continue to do a service at St. George's at 11:15 a.m., but it will be outdoors this Sunday. And I'm going to try an experiment. I bought some equipment that has not arrived yet. But so this Sunday we'll do it outside on the lawn at St. George at 11:15. But next Sunday, if the weather's not conducive to be outdoors, I think I have figured out a way to do a parking lot service where you can stay in the warmth of your cars if it's inclement weather down there, and I could broadcast the service to a radio channel using a radio transmitter to a designated frequency that will not interfere with other broadcasts, nor will it require a broadcast license. So I think that'd be a fun experiment. We can take this opportunity to be creative and make the best of a circumstance that would be other than what it is if we had our way. But making the best of what is, I think we have an opportunity to really do some imaginative things. So this Sunday, we will be doing regular services at 9:30 and 11:15 at St. James and St. George, respectively. I invite the groups the folks who have been doing the 8 o'clock morning prayer service. I invite you to continue to do that. It's Cindy Mortrude has shared a wonderful article in the e-news about how intimate and special that service is. So I'd like to see that continue. I encourage you, but plan to be outdoors for that, not indoors, gathering indoors. I will write something for the e-news with regards to plans as we develop them forward going for Christmas Eve and Christmas in light of the ban on indoor gathering. My thoughts so far have been to do outdoor services. Christmas Eve, 5 o'clock at St. James outdoors in front of the church, and 9 o'clock outdoors at St. George's in front of the church. Christmas Eve with a fire pan and Christmas carols. I think we will have to figure out how it is that we're going to manage the caroling. We may have to just broadcast the music and forego the singing. I'll see. We've been banned from singing, even outdoors. But if we can conceive of a way to do that safely, that I can get some relief from the bishop that allows that, subject to guidelines that we may be able to develop that'll give her the confidence that we're not going to make anyone sick. But we'll see if we can arrange to do something there that way. And then likewise, Christmas morning services. We plan on doing one service Christmas morning. The original plan was to do it at 11 o'clock at St. James. I'm thinking that we'll do an 11 o'clock service at St. James, but it'll be outdoors somehow. And if the weather is really foul, well, then we'll forgive God for his infinite wisdom in sending foul weather, or we'll get some foul weather gear and we'll bear with it somehow. But brothers and sisters, I thank you for being so faithful. We're going to recognize that the message that we received in the gospel is that above and all, with all the rules and regulations that sometimes we look to give us a sense of control, the overarching spirit of the law is to love one another and love God in a way that does no harm and builds up the health and well-being and fellowship in the body of Christ. So we're going to endeavor to maintain proximity at a safe distance and safely. The message is to care for one another. We're going to wear masks. We're going to socially distance, and we're going to worship the Lord and fellowship with one another, so that no one has failure to thrive in isolation, and as God intended. Since we cannot worship safely indoors, and we'll be outdoors, and it'll be very uncomfortable under ideal circumstances for some, and there's some who do not have the wherewithal to, even they're homebound or bound, immobilized, or not be able to get out of to services. We are in the process. Immediately, I have a team of folks working with Linda Rogers, who's assigned to us now, Deacon Linda Rogers, to equip lay Eucharistic visitors to go out to those who are shut in. And we are going to aggressively develop a concrete plan with names of those who elect not to come to services for communion, but would like to receive or have prayer or communion, or both, in their homes or in their place of residence. We will schedule time to aim for hitting everyone, excluding none, with Eucharistic visitors who are deployed from the congregation, having been equipped by myself and Deacon Rogers to extend the congregation to where you reside and offer the sacrament of communion, so that all members of the body of Christ are included, regardless of where you are. So when you receive this message, please do contact myself or Sarah Hoffman. I can be reached by cell phone at 860-662-1182. Sarah will publish contact information in the e-news. Please reach out by phone or email and let us know that you desire to receive home communion, and I will put you on the list and put you on the schedule and make sure that we get out to you and we don't miss anyone. So God bless you all. I'm looking forward to getting back on the shore. Thanks be to God that I have a great medical team up here. I've had a wonderful trip, and we've been staying at the recovery family residence that I started called Follow Me Home. It's so named because we are endeavoring to be a community here that follows in the way of Christ, as opposed to having a rigid set of rules and regulations to govern behavior and somebody law enforcement mechanism overseeing compliance, the message that we have for inhabiting community in this house is the mutuality, the one anothering, the holding up the community, the well-being of all in the house as the primary, over and above individual self-gratification or self-seeking behaviors and self-advancement. And that would be my understanding of the gospel that applies to our spiritual way of being community, the body of Christ as the church. And so rather than preaching a lot of rules and regulations and making sure that every time there's an incident or a transaction that makes us afraid, we develop some new litigation or rules and regulations or policies or ordinances. First and foremost, we want to never lose sight of the primary, which is the health and well-being, and the mandate that God gave us, which is to love one another, to love Him, love the source of our being, love one another into life, is the first and greatest commandment. So we will try to do that and call that our new imagined way of doing church in the face of a pandemic. God bless you all. I will be driving tomorrow, and I look forward to seeing you all Sunday. Peace.